Good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's episode of Triggered. I'm your host, Zachary Clark, and you all know my co-host, Adam Forbird. Adam, how are you doing tonight?
Going okay.
Just okay.
Yep, it's going just okay.
Just okay. That means that you probably should sit back, relax, and grab yourself an ice cold beverage so that you can feel just okay.
Yeah. It, so I feel just okay. I got myself some nice water here tonight. So
Yeah, let me send this to you through the internet.
just, just run out. Oh, I wish I had one here that I could just be like, oh, hey,
Yeah,
thanks.
we should really plan that better next time. Uh, oh, yes, I forgot. We are coming to you live from inside a hypersonic nuclear delivery vehicle.
Oh,
How do they even do that, Adam? How can they even do that? But we'll get into that. Don't you folks worry out there in TV land. Oh, but first we have some local happenings from the Scanner Radio. 16th Street, male in a hospital gown walking south near Jersey, left the ER, QPD, en route. Dun, 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 dun. People are fleeing Blessing Hospital. They can't abide by their poor treatment of folk.
yeah. I mean, I don't know. Can you can you walk around in a hospital gown? Is it against the law?
I don't know. I wouldn't think so, but maybe because you're backless and so you might have your butt hanging out or whatever. But who knows? I've seen people dressed more scantily in non-hospital gowns, and no one says boo. So likely, I'd say that that's fine. I think it's more they were concerned with his, whatever, safety, security, soundness, those sorts of things. Any excuse the state can have to bother you and stick their nose in your business. We're in the chat below this post debates whether or not someone can check themselves out of the hospital. And it all starts with old Alan here. How dare someone decide not to do business with them? Better call the police. Do, do, do. And this guy says, for the. And I think this means for real, though. And then the scanner guy, lady, whoever it is, hops in and says, supposed to sign a release form before leaving. And then this,
No.
and then the person then says, their policies only apply to their employees. Imagine if every business operated like the medical industry. I don't know what any of this means.
They were getting a little.
Patty was with me. She's like, I don't know what that means. Question mark. Then this one lady says, I've left hospitals numerous times without signing the forms, and no one ever called the police. Lol. He stole a gown! But for real, you have no idea why there. Maybe maybe suicidal. Well, I don't know. I can't even say this. Maybe I'll maybe suicidal, or at any rate, should have put own clothes back on and left properly. I don't know.
I don't know what that is.
I don't know. Anyway, I thought that was kind of weird, but mostly for the debate that occurred below about whether or not you can check yourself out of the hospital. It seems to be that some people think it's a contractual arrangement, and part of that contract is you have to sign papers or you aren't allowed to leave the building, which I don't think sounds right.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because that's like some kind of imprisonment. Voluntary imprisonment, though, maybe, because you signed a contract, but can you do that? Is that conscionable, Adam? Can you sign a contract waiving your rights to leave a prison if you voluntarily enter it?
I don't know.
I don't either, anything. But I do know that there were some more mysterious booms. Quincy Fire Department en route to Flynn Stadium for a fireworks display. Oh, hey. Fireworks, 14th in Washington. Person reports they heard an explosion. A QPD officer is at 13th in Washington and didn't hear anything at all. No explosions here. Then from the inbox. What were the loud booms around the South 16th area, Quincy? It could have been anything. In this case, it might have been these fireworks. Or maybe the fireworks are just a cover for more mysterious booms in town. Who's to say, Adam? Who's to say?
Yeah.
Some people say that they've been shooting off fireworks since June. Can confirm. Periodically, I'll hear a random firework boom in my own neighborhood.
That's what they want you to think.
That's just it. From the inbox. Do you know anyone missing a rabbit in Quincy? I can't keep it. What do I do with it? We found it and it almost got hit. Someone found a rabbit in the street, apparently.
Odd.
And, weird. Similar to me. So I'm just going to throw this out there. Do you know anyone missing a raccoon in Quincy? I can't keep it. What do I do with it? I found it and it almost got hit in the road. It's a very feisty sucker too. So whoever's raccoon this belongs to needs to do a better job. Needs to do a better job taming this thing. Untrained, completely untrained. I went to work today and left it in my bedroom. Came back, it was a mess. Everything was just thrown around. Not house trained at all. Raccoon feces everywhere.
They're big.
And did you know that raccoon feces could have a toxic parasite inside of it?
I did not know.
Yeah, don't. That's why one of the reasons I can't keep it. I don't want to get the toxic raccoon parasite. So Adam, have you heard about 17th century Polish cavalry charges?
I'm not too familiar on a lot of them.
Are you familiar with any one in particular?
I am familiar with one.
Ah, me too. So, a little background here. These cranks over on Twitter are putting together some sort of literary magazine project. So, maybe I'll put info below. But basically, there's you can submit. Anyone can submit. So if you guys want to submit, cool. I don't know if you were planning to.
I don't know.
I don't know. I was thinking since I never got around to submitting Real American anywhere, that I might get that one put together. And then, so they have a fiction, a poetry, and a nonfiction categories, and you can submit one thing in each of the categories. So I was going to do that just to see what happens. The nonfiction piece was going to catalog a like true to life memoir of working at Taco Bell.
Yes.
The Real American, which is stunning, frankly, and it's a tragedy on the world that I haven't completed it yet. Is a half a short story, so a short story because I don't like writing lots of stuff. About a true American, and then I was going to write a poem about the charge of the winged hussars at the Battle of Vienna. And so to do that, I was doing a little just light research to like get some stuff in the brain about the winged hussars. I think I can't even remember what happened. I think it was someone posted a like, which one of these would you like? Would you have wanted to see or something like that? And it was like different like images of battles or whatever. And one of the replies was, "Oh, I don't know, but I would have loved to see the charge of the winged hussars." And I'm like, I have never heard of this before in my entire life. And so I just Googled a little bit and I had found like tidbits about this. And I'm like, oh, cool. And then I'm like, man, so it's stuck in my brain ever since I just got this glimpse of it. And then I just fell right into the winged hussar rabbit hole all the way down
Yeah,
and
that single count has like a lot of fanboys.
yeah.
It's crazy.
So I would say if you're interested, Google the Battle of Vienna and the Winged Hussars and King John Sobieski. Oh, so heroic, so much based. But I did find these. I stumbled upon so many things, but I found this wonderful meme that no one's gonna get because no one has hardly ever heard of this outside of certain circles on the internet. But so this is an Ottoman Turk, and this is his plan for defeating the Viennese. Coordinate a well-planned siege, effectively starving Vienna to the brink of collapse. Yes, step one. Step two, use sappers to bring down the decrepit city walls, with the ensuing rubble creating a path to march directly into the city. Very strong. Step two. Very successful. Step three. Then the winged hussars arrive. Wait. Step four. Then the winged hussars arrive. Oh no! Because the winged hussars charged and broke the siege. Anyway. I thought this was very funny. But
Yeah.
if you don't know, you don't know.
No.
And then the winged hussars arrived. Dun, 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 dun. There's even a metal band that I discovered, a Swedish metal band that I discovered in this journey called Sabaton, and all of their songs are like based around some sort of heroic well, they have an entire album called Last Stands, and it's all about these heroic last stands, and the Winged Hussars is one of the songs on that album. But then they have other albums. So currently, they're doing a back-to-back albums on World War One. What were they called?
The Great War is the one that came out a couple years ago. And then I think that they're naming the next one The War to End All Wars.
I've just been like, just completely immersed in Hussar history and Sabaton over the last 3 days.
Yeah. So the next these past couple albums have been just World War One.
I even posted a couple of their songs on Facebook, and now my dad's a super fan too. He just posted in the chat, "They are awesome," and I agree. 100%.
I told my brother about them last time I went. I've never heard of them before. Like, they're pretty cool.
Here we go. Really, I haven't. Oh, there's just so much. Like I said, it's just been a whirlwind these past few days. I just don't even know what's up or down right now. But I do know that Sabaton is based, Winged Hussars are based, and I'm definitely going to write an epic poem in iambic pentameter heroic couplets about the charge of the Winged Hussars and submit it to that literary project. And you should definitely submit a Jake Timberpot short story, a brand new one about Jake Timberpot on the moon.
Temperature.
Oh, yeah. Well, I was looking at it and I'm like, I don't know, because whatever. Most like modern poetry I read or hear is super lame, and it's all like this free form nonsense. And so I'm like, if I'm
Yep.
gonna do this, it's it's gonna be based in traditional.
I'll read yours if you don't mind, but I'm not gonna check it against whether or not it meets the meter and whatnot.
I don't know either. I just it's gonna be
Iambic pentameter is not.
it's close enough. I mean, basically, I don't know, because of the way English language works, it basically flows in the cadence of emphasis, non-emphasis, like this. And so you just have to put your lines in 10-syllable phrases. Anyway, that's the basic research that I've done so far, and even if it doesn't get picked up by this thing, I will post it on the internet so all of my many fans can read.
We do.
My dad says he wishes he had their hair. And, yeah, except for, like, the lead singer guy. All of them have one. It's like stereotypical Swedish metal band. It's like Schwishgar and Toki. That's a reference to Metalocalypse. Wonderful show. Watch it anyway. Breaking news, Adam. Breaking news. Tragedy struck. Alec Baldwin fired a prop gun on a movie set in New Mexico, killing cinematographer and wounding a director, authorities said. It's New Mexico. I thought it was Mexico.
Nope. Stateside.
State sign. Sad. But this is tragic, and it happens occasionally. That's how Brandon Lee died on the set of The Crow. He got shot. And so a lot of people are like, oh, I can't believe this happened. Why were they using real guns? Yada, yada, yada.
Why does Hollywood use real guns? This is the first time I realized that. I guess I just thought that they were. I didn't think that they were real, because you have them. It says prop gun, but it's not a prop. It's a real gun that they use as a prop.
Yes. Because they have to. They literally fire them using special cartridges that make it flashy, smoky.
Yeah, they're blanks, aren't they? Or are they different than blanks?
I think they're different than blanks, and I don't know all of the stuff. But, yeah. They're special cartridges they fire that don't have a bullet in it.
Right.
And I believe usually the, like, OSHA, protocol or whatever probably calls for somebody to be in charge of ensuring that those things, proper safety procedures are followed.
They've got to have someone with certain certifications to supervise it or whatnot.
Yeah, and they're
certain license.
They're like checking the gun to make sure it's working properly and that all of the ammo that they put in it's the good stuff, not the kill guys stuff. But even when you do all that stuff, there's still a chance that something could go wrong. And I don't know, because I think I heard it in the context of the Brandon Lee situation once upon a time that he wasn't actually shot with a bullet, but then I did hear that it was somebody slipped a bullet in. But there was what can happen is when you're using those kinds of rounds, the barrel can become obstructed with the material that the cartridge shoots. and then it can then be fired by the next shot, like with the force of a bullet out of the end of the barrel, and can, kill a guy. So I don't know. I didn't see any deets about if they had any more info on what
They
happened.
probably have it all. They're just not saying.
Yeah, but Alec Baldwin did kill a lady. So now that's something you all know. Yes. My dad said blanks shoot a wad. And that's what they said. The wad gets caught in the barrel and makes a solid enough barrier that then the force of the next blank firing in the gas shoots it out, and then that wad can do serious damage. But someone found an old thing that Alec Baldwin posted, and this person also replied, "Mr. Baldwin, no, stop!" Because Alec Baldwin had tweeted back in 2017, "Shoot these effing people," in reference to big game hunters. So they're saying that he's finally putting action or words into action. And this person says, "I'd say you should stop." And I kind of agree with that.
Yeah, well, he's a hothead, but I don't know what the details are on this.
Yeah, we'll find out more. We will report back to everybody in the coming weeks about the Alec Baldwin killing a lady story. Don't you worry. Oh, what's this? A news story about Biden. Oh, let's see. I'm sure it'll be, as with Trump, very pro, congressional checks and not presidential power run amok, and how the president is a co-equal branch of government. Let's read it real quick. Just the headline, I guess, is all we'll need for the... Oh, wait. Biden's treatment of Congress is patient, but getting less so by the day.
The Senate is a relic of the Republic, and it is now not. I've dissolved it.
That's what this stinks of. And the rest of the article is pretty much dumb. But I saw this headline and I'm like, what new hell is this? The media is now talking about describing Biden basically as a patient king dealing with his rabbleless children, and how he has to patiently get them into order. But only for so long.
To sit quietly.
Ugh.
What happens with that?
It's the contrast, Adam. It's like a short 10 months ago, the president was leading an insurrection against the people. And now he only has to exercise limited amounts of patience with the legislative branch of government. I don't know. Maybe I'm not supposed to know. But once again, I believe that it's all fake. But maybe Congress does have something to say about this. In fact, I have some quick video here from a congressman himself, Representative Bill Posey.
Instead of the bogus Build Back Better plan and reconciliation plan, you know what they want? They want you to help put America back where you found it and leave it the hell alone. Let's go, Brandon. I yield back.
It says, instead of the Build Back Better plan and all this nonsense, we want you to bring America back to where you found it and then leave us the hell alone. Let's go, Brandon. Well, I'm not entirely sure what that's a reference to, Adam. Have you heard anything about this Brandon guy?
I don't know who Brandon is,
Anybody in chat?
but he seems to be very fond of him though and cheering him on.
Everybody's been cheering Brandon on. We couldn't couldn't
Is it
think.
the Olympics? The Olympics going on right now?
No. I think it was some kind of NASCAR race, if I remember correctly.
Cheering on. Man, the last time NASCAR hit mainstream was a while ago. I don't remember.
Yeah, the so I'm playing a little bit of games here, but it was a NASCAR race, and they were doing an interview of the guy. I can't even remember if he won or not, but his name's Brandon something or other. And the crowd is chanting a common chant that has been springing up spontaneously across the country at large sporting events and NASCAR races.
And even the streets of
and the interviewers like, oh look, listen, they're shouting, "Let's go, Brandon!" for you right now. But what they're really saying is F word Joe Biden. Really loud and repeatedly over and over again. And the news media pretended that they were saying, "Let's go, Brandon," for the interview with this guy. The government of Canada has banned any politicians or people in the government from using the phrase in any way. And I don't know what that's about. Yeah. Canada came out and said, you're not allowed to say, "Let's go, Brandon." And now people have been using "Let's go, Brandon" in a context where they they can't just explicitly say "F the president," so they just say it, and everybody knows what they mean. Which is what that congressman was doing.
but they can't say it, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know. I guess that guy can say whatever he wants. We're in America still.
Yeah.
You can still do that kind of stuff. This ain't fascist Canada.
Yeah, what is the deal? We need to invade them again.
I didn't go so hot last time.
Yeah, it was because we had a traitor in our midst. Or something or other. I'm confusing that.
Yeah, that was a different thing.
Earlier war. He was up there. He knew our plans.
That's it. That's what it was.
One or the other.
Oh, but yeah, it's one more sign of the times. People all are getting a little fed up with the president, but at least there isn't a group of people that have particular grievances against this administration or the government that are just like have that constituency concentrated with their vitriol and everything. Oh wait, what's this? Adam, reports are trickling up from DC's jail's Patriot Wing. This is where they keep the January 6th protesters in isolation. That suggests that some of the Jan Sixers are bonding out and becoming even more entrenched in their anti-government beliefs. Experts say this speaks to the broader issue of radicalization in custody. A federal court. What?
Who's the source? What's the source say? I mean, like, what's the...
The article is from Vice, and the headline is Capitol Rioters in Jails, Patriot Wing have wild rituals and a fan base. Tess Owen, and I have no idea who this is, some Twitter crank who's got a check mark.
Yeah.
Is the one that's talking about how it's clearly custody and prison system that needs to crack down on radicalization.
Weren't these things like 7 years ago, talking about how like there needs to be prison reform?
The only president that's done any prison reform in the last 2+ decades. The last thing that they tried was the crime bill, which made things way worse, and that was in Clinton's time. Has been Donald Trump.
Oh, that's right.
But he was the worst president of all time, hands down. If you disagree, then you're a Jan 6er and you should go to prison in solitary confinement for 6 months without bail. But it's the system that's radicalizing you, man. Unrelated. What?
You're offended?
Huh?
Say?
I said unrelated.
Oh.
So once upon a time, there was this group of whack jobs out in Texas called the Branch Davidians. And the Branch Davidians were doing weird stuff or whatever, and so the government decided that they wanted to get them. And as part of that, they burned women and children alive in the complex. And a guy heard about that, and he was mad. And he wasn't in prison, so it wasn't the prison system that radicalized him, so to speak. But he was a guy that saw that the government had overreached its bounds and was doing things just to get guys and killing people without remorse or really any kind of humility about it. In fact, I believe that the person that was nominated as the ATF chief had posed with burnt corpses.
Children.
Yes. And this guy heard about it, and he's like, oh, that's not good. This government's gone too far. It's time. It's time. And he drove a truck full of diesel fuel and fertilizer out in front of a building and blew it up. And that man was Timothy McVeigh. Completely unrelated to anything I was just talking about. I just thought I'd go on a little Tim McVeigh side rant anyway. Back to this story. I'm sure there'll be no consequences from the government taking these extreme punitive actions against people who walked into the Capitol building, which should be open to the public anyway. And I'm sure that the people that were put in solitary confinement for doing this for 6 months won't have any lasting bad feelings that could radicalize them against the government. I'm sure all this will be fine. It'll blow over. They'll realize that they've been beat and that the government was right. And all the people that's calling them insurrectionists and traitors and rebels, they're all correct, and I'll just have to go home and think about what I've done. I'm sure that's how it'll all play out. No bad consequences.
Blowback is a thing.
No, Adam, I think you're just making that up. You're probably one of them Jan 6ers. One of their fan club as Visa. Anyway, when the bombs start going off, don't say I didn't warn you, idiots. But no one watches the show anyway. This is just what they'll use for evidence against me in the trials. Breaking news, Adam. Breaking news. Oh my gosh, breaking news. Over the weekend, it emerged that the Chinese military in August secretly launched a rocket carrying a hypersonic glide vehicle into space. It flew around the globe through low orbit space before returning to Earth. Oh my gosh. This is supposed to be the next wave of nuclear arms development. Oh my. Cold War II brewing. While the missile reportedly missed its target by about 24 miles, the test shows China has made rapid progress on the lightning-fast weapons. and is far more advanced than the U.S. intelligence officials had realized. One official said, "We have no idea how they did this." And then we've got a nice picture of the Red Army marching on parade. For those who don't know, what they're developing is a low Earth orbit, hypersonic missile. I want to call it platform, but I don't know exactly what to say. But it's basically a satellite that has a warhead in it that travels multiple times the speed of sound in low Earth orbit. And so instead of just having a ballistic missile that travels on a parabolic trajectory, ballistic missiles, ICBMs go all the way into space, and then they can come down anywhere in the world. But they're on a fixed path, and it makes them more susceptible to anti-missile technologies and missile shields and these sorts of things. Hypersonic glide vehicles stay in orbit until you decide to deorbit them, and so they can just circle the Earth forever. Like the space station or whatever, and then whenever you decide, you push a button, and then it falls down whenever you tell it to. And so you don't know where exactly those are going to land at a given time. It's like when we used to fly our B-52s circle. What?
Plus or minus 20 miles.
Yeah, well, yeah. Yeah, and I don't know, because I picked up on a couple things just reading this that I hadn't seen before. Apparently this happened back in August, too. So we're just now hearing about it. But we used to circle our B-52s around the Arctic Circle.
Yeah, the Chrome Dome.
Yeah. Waiting. Hey, where are these guys going to fly? You guys don't know where we're going to send these guys. Don't worry about it. They're just armed with multiple thermonuclear warheads. Don't worry about these cruise missile carrying jumbo bombers. So I don't know. I don't really see the point of I guess whatever you say. Well, if there's B-52s, we can shoot them down. I'm like, well, I don't know. Technically speaking, I think you could probably shoot down a hypersonic low Earth orbit missile platform too, but it might be a little harder.
Didn't we shoot down I thought there was like some defunct satellite about 10 years ago or so. And we made a big spectacle, sent a B-2 up to launch, basically to destroy the satellite.
It's super cool. Earth. And it was a major plot point of the classic action film Under Siege 2 Dark Territory starring Steven Seagal.
No, this thing was real though. I remember it. I don't know, it might not have been a B-2, but I thought it was still fun. I do remember because at one point I'm like, why is there so much coverage about this? And everyone's just like, because it's awesome. Well, okay. I can't compete with that one.
I mean, it is pretty cool. I can't say that's not true.
Atmosphere to space missile. That's pretty.
Boop, 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 boop. Adam, just in. The Pentagon announced that U.S. Army and Navy successfully tested their own hypersonic weapon prototypes on Wednesday. Not to be outdone.
Man, we got that technology done, up and running and tested.
Oh man, rapid time. Wait, from zero to hearing about it last week to having a prototype launching it and successfully testing it today, or I guess Wednesday, so a couple days ago. Wow. It would almost make me think that we already had one, and it just wasn't public, and they just announced it in random.
Yeah, that's what I was.
Random tests, just because they didn't want the Chinese to think that, I guess I don't know, because you're sending messages right at that point in time, because you got it. The Chinese probably know you've got it, But the Chinese were making headlines about their hypersonic vehicle or whatever, and your intelligence community embarrassed you by saying, we have no idea how the Chinese were able to accomplish such a feat. And so, like, all right, I guess let's fire one up, boys.
$1 million.
We really already have this thing perfected, but shoot one off and tell everybody we got one too. But yeah, so it's this kind of thing. So now we both have hypersonic weapon prototypes, the Chinese and us, and so Russia's got to shoot one off, and then we have to leak the new hypersonic weapon prototype that has multiple warhead capability, which was such a cool thing that the Russians did during the Cold War. That probably have still several of those pointed at our face right now. But these were ICBMs that had like 100 warheads inside of them.
Yeah, you launch it up and then there's like dozens. But at this point, it's like the end of humanity.
Yeah, it's like, duh. It's like they're singing that Russian song in the submarine from Red October. Like, you can't stop them all, capitalist dog. And it's true, because it was a countermeasure missile arms race thing that was happening there for a while. And this is one of the bad things, but I don't know how bad it is, because I don't even know how China was involved in the test bans and missile bans and arms treaties and stuff, or if they were at all. But Trump got us out of those things. He's like, hey, we're not in these arms limitations agreements anymore. And part of that was because Russia was breaking them, like,
definitely,
blatantly, and we were just like, oh, we can't see. I still don't understand. Anyway, I don't know.
Oh,
there was a weird thing, and I don't completely understand. It was part of what Trump played on, and one of the things that he did good when he was president was, if they're breaking the rules, you can't go all Neville Chamberlain on them. You gotta actually confront them, call them out, and then take counter steps to confront them. He was not non-confrontational. He would say, China, your trade practices are hurting us, and it's not cool, man. You can't do that. We're renegotiating this stuff. It's not.
absolutely.
This aggression cannot stand, man.
Yeah, wait, what? You have an Iranian general on our airstrip? Bad move.
Yeah, the Iranian general's over here inspecting the terrorist militias that they're funding to attack our soldiers, but it's like, oh, you can't attack that guy. Oh, no. Ooh. He's like, no, what are you talking about? There's rules. There's a protocol. You got to abide by the rules. Quit breaking the rules, man.
What's
No,
that
if you break the
over-
rules, you might make someone mad at us. Oh, it doesn't matter. They're already putting it to us, man. You can't just let it go. You lose either way if you do that. Oh. Ah. God. God. Going all the dude over here. Man. Let's see what we got going on here. Oh, there's something that Adam's really into. So there was a vote. Recently, there was a bill put forward. It was called the Freedom to Vote Act. Obviously, this act was put out because it was meant to give people the freedom to vote. It's in the name. What else could it do? Anyway, those bad, demonistic Republicans unanimously voted to block the Freedom to Vote Act. Oh, these guys, they hate voting. Oh, they just want you to not be able to vote at all. I don't see any other way to interpret this, Adam. Clearly, it's called the Freedom to Vote Act.
There's a few things wrong with this headline picture.
I see nothing wrong with this. It's called the Freedom to Vote Act. They unanimously voted to block it. They're against voting.
So number one thing that I don't like is the picture is used. He's a Democratic senator. So I don't know.
He's disappointed. He's lowering his glasses. He's like, I can't believe these Republicans hate voting so much.
So I'm unsure as, I don't know, there's weird congressional rules that I'm not entirely sure of, but how can you vote to block you? Democrats have the vote. Don't they have the vote, or is this a 60 or above?
I think it's a 60 or above situation.
All right, so I don't know what to tell you. That means that they needed let's see. They would have needed 10, 11 Republicans to break
I think
rank.
you just need 60, so 10.
Yeah.
In a 49 to 51 vote, Republicans blocked the Senate from moving forward on the Democrats' voting rights bill. Although I don't really understand this. It must have been one Democrat defected, since it was unanimous.
Yeah, so maybe that's what I'm not. This description is not. It's not clear. So they voted to vote, right? 50-50. Oh no. No. I miss. Okay. So 50-50 Senate. They needed at least 10. Okay, so they needed 60. 49, 50. Okay. So if the Republicans voted unanimously, yeah, you're right. So a Democrat would have voted alongside the Republicans.
One Democrat hates voting too. That's what I get out of this.
Probably the one pictured.
Well, there you go. He's probably one of those blue dog Democrats. Worse
he
than
knows his constituents.
worse than that. Worse than that rhino, Colin Powell.
Oh no!
Rest in peace. I couldn't. I told you I couldn't. I couldn't look at the Colin Powell stuff, especially after Trump started talking about him. But you forced it on me. You held me down and made me hear what he had said.
No, you just you just unplug your ears.
There was nothing that would have been childish. If ever anybody knows me, they know that I am anything but childish. Don't question it. Oh. Well, we're running low on time, but I think we've got time for this. This was kind of fun. There was a list of rejected amendments, proposed but never ratified.
Oh.
Some people said the U.S. was just wiling out in 1893, but then they came to their senses in 94 when they wanted to amend the Constitution to acknowledge that the Constitution recognized God and Jesus Christ as the supreme authorities in human affairs. Here we go. Separation of church and state, except to acknowledge the one true God is in charge of things, which is cool. Some of the cool ones, they wanted to renamed the nation as the United States of Earth. Which I thought was
They
cool.
were adding. They were gonna. When was the Spanish-American War? I'm just saying. We were expanding.
Yeah, we came late to the Empire game, but you know.
Yeah, we were just about to get all Spain's old territories.
We did.
Yeah, we were about to get Cuba, and then
We basically had Cuba until those rapscallions started rabble rousing down there.
yeah, no, I meant like as an actual like territory or state, not of like a puppet.
It was our puppet state. It was fine. We're like, hey, we don't have to. Hey, did you guys know we don't actually have to own these things as territory? What? Yeah, you can just like control the government, man, and then it's just as good as.
I was searching for a PG friendly word to use, but wussed. There we go. Before we wussed out.
Yeah.
We didn't.
Well, I don't know. There's been a lot of wussing out since the atom bombs come around. For pragmatic reasons. Unless you're Douglas MacArthur. Talk about zero soy.
Window for that, you know?
Oh, 1876, an attempt to abolish the United States Senate. Hey, they're bringing that one back.
No. Yeah, they are.
Oh, an executive council of 3 to replace the office of president. A triumvirate.
Yeah.
I thought that was cool, and it started me thinking that how the Constitution was originally structured to give the second place candidate for president the vice presidential office was actually super genius, and that we got rid of it at our own peril.
Yeah.
It's the political opponent now has a voice in government, and if they were also truly vested with, because the vice president is the president of the Senate, right? And so they should have a procedural role in certain things outside of just casting the tie-break vote.
But that would matter too. I mean, it would have mattered in this one.
Correct, but like more so, sort of like a Speaker of the House role, where you have basically control over the agenda and those sorts of things.
Oh gosh, dude, Trump in the.
See, now you're seeing what I'm saying, right?
It would have made it so government could not function.
Why not?
Which is
the vice president only has power, very limited power, to cast a tie-breaking vote in the Senate and to, if there was some actual teeth to being the president of the Senate, be able to sort of procedurally guide the proceedings. That would grind them to a halt, or be procedural ways to override his domineering or whatever.
Right. Well, I'm just saying it would be another safeguard as far as having the government steamroll its citizens.
Oh, 100%. That's what I'm saying. And there's repeatedly I hear this come up all the time about proportional representation in Congress based on voting percentages and party allocation and these sorts of things. Sort of like a parliamentary system like they have in Great Britain. But this effectively did that before we undid it with the amendment. That you would give the other party or the next most popular political position power and representation at the executive level of government. But now it's all one-sided. Now the president and the vice president are completely simpatico.
Right.
So I think we should bring that back. I'm 100% for that. I guess I'd never really thought about it before, but I'm just like, it actually makes complete sense. And I really don't know why they got rid of it. Other than people didn't like it because then they had to deal with the other party. I think that's how I always heard it sort of framed when it would come up. You were the history guy.
No, I don't remember.
Hey, Prohibition worked so well the first time in 1938 they decided to try again with slightly different wording by forbidding the drunkenness in the United States and all of its territories. You can still drink, alright, you can drink. You just can't get drunk. That's not allowed. Oh, thank God. Ooh, and in 1970, they were wiling out again. American citizens should have the... Wait, have the alienable? I don't think that should be alienable. Should have the right to an environment free of pollution.
Oh.
Adam, are you aware of any environments, even ones that have no touch by man, that are free of any pollutants?
Well, it's funny you mention that because the way that the EPA has defined certain, I think it's pollution, or what is it? They state that even like putting hot water into cold water, like putting hot water into the river is pollution.
Yes.
Even if it's just water.
Yes. This is what
Like-
I'm saying. It's got beaver urine in the water over this pristine stream in Canada or whatever. It's like, it's polluted. I have an inalienable right to be free of pollution. You must prevent this beaver urine from contaminating my river water, please and thank you. Noise pollution. Let's go. Let's take this very far. Light pollution. Insane. Whatever. That was in the 70s when the environmental whack jobs were sort of coming to the forefront. Oh, this is a good one. I remember picking up on that as an 8 or 9-year-old. But wait, God made Pharaoh harden his heart? Very strange. To which Spooky Scottish replies, I'm glad atheists are admitting that they have the critical thinking skills of a 9-year-old. Which is what I always think of when people say, well, I was part of the church when I was a kid, and I know how they ran things. And that's like, oh, I'm so glad that you're basing your interpretation of the church on the reasoning of a 9-year-old.
Yeah.
But to which we've received this clever reply. Theists never even reached that point. They still believe in a magic invisible man in the sky. For me, that ended with, Santa Claus. To which we got this. Which is what the title of tonight's episode is based on. He's like, cringe. Santa Claus does actually exist and intercedes for us from heaven. Yeah, based and saint pilled. That's all I gotta say about that.
Am I cringe? Yes, you're cringe, dude.
And it's so true. It's like, oh, people forgot. And then I saw one that was pretty cool. And it was an Earth Force thing, wake me up when you see flying reindeer, or a North Pole factory run by elves. I got you again. But it was this one. What if God is using my generosity to my children as part of the answers to the prayers of St. Nicholas? Yes, Virginia, there is a Santa Claus. And it is the will of God. And I thought that was cool. That was a cool way of interpreting how Santa Claus is real. I didn't even look at this stuff. But someone replies to Earth Force saying, if Santa Claus isn't real, then who gives you Christmas presents? Question. And this person replies, my family, if I've been good. And then it says, do you have any proof? And then the person says, I read the tags, lol. And he says, can you show me the tags? And I see exactly where this is going. Can you prove that it's not Santa Claus giving you the presents? Where's your evidence? If you're so adamant and you say that evidence is what's required to show a thing, right? Yeah. Then how do you know it's not Santa Claus that's giving you these things? Provide me with your falsifiable evidence, if you will. It's Giga Chad with a gun. Santa denier. So true. That's why I unapologetically believe in Santa Claus and tell my child that he is real. Alright, what time we got? 10:15. Alright. Let's look here. Oh, I did want to share this because it was amazing. And for all those out there, actually a solution for global warming has come to fruition. Yes, that's correct. They have solved the problems associated with global warming. And today I will reveal those to you. Are you ready, Adam?
Okay.
Are you ready for the wonderful and groundbreaking solution to global warming?
Oh, yes.
Are you?
Absolutely.
Say it like you mean it, and I'll show it to you.
Show me the money? I don't know.
Here it is. Just do this every 99 years or so. I found this very funny when I saw it. But basically this guy's saying, these people really out here acting like sea levels rising a foot per century is an insurmountable problem. And he shows some garden landscaping, some paving blocks stacked up, and he's like, repeat, every 99 years. Any more brain busters? No. Problem solved. It put it in perspective for me, and I said, why are we so concerned? It couldn't be that there's some sort of financial interest in perpetuating and driving a climate change agenda to enrich alternate fuel companies and alternate energy consortiums and to penalize people that we disfavor to make their industries less competitive with our friends. It couldn't be any of that. Which is why I'm going to move on to our high school the week from Ice-T himself. Ice Cold Facts. You can't wake up every morning with a new hustle. You gotta find one. Find the one for you and stick with it. It may take a while for it to fully pay off, but you gotta grind it out. Ice Cold Fact. And I must say that Ice lives his Ice Cold Facts because this week they put out the 500th episode of Law and Order SVU. The longest running TV drama in the history of the world. Stuck with that grind. He didn't care. People would come at him, hey man, you play a cop on TV, and he said, get bent, mother. I'm taking that bag home to my wife and child every day. And bonus T. What we got here is a little video, closed captioned TV. Not closed caption? Is that what it is? Closed circuit TV showing a couple of skater dudes boosting some chips at the convenience store. Ice says, when the boosters become the hero, love the skateboard distraction technique. Well, let's see what this is about. We got these two guys. One guy's at the counter distracting the old man. This guy's putting a bunch of crap in his backpack, potato chips and stuff. What's this? Oh, what? Guy walks in. He's holding a shotgun. Oh my gosh. There's a holdup happening. Oh, what are these dudes doing? They're freaking out. We gotta do something about this, man. This is our favorite place to steal chips from. Wait, what was that sound? Oh, wait. Ah, I got him! Coming around the corner. Tackling the guy.
God.
Threw his display on top of him. You dropped the shotgun into the store clerk and bolted.
Amazing.
Yeah, there was another one I saw. It was a guy, and he was in the in the gas station. He had just ordered or paid for his stuff. He's about to leave, and some guys come walking in, and they have their handgun pointed at the store clerk. They're holding the place up. And the guy's like stands there nonchalant, and then all of a sudden reaches out, grabs the gun, and throws the guy on the ground and stuff.
Yeah,
and
punches him right in the face, and then the two other guys like run away.
Yeah, and all the people in the chat are like, men dream about this situation every day of their lives. If that man pulled a gun, this is exactly what I'd do to disarm him and save everybody. I'd be a hero for the whole town. Anyway, those are our contributions from Ice-T for the week. There was one more thing on a Spanish literary award, but we just don't have time for it this week. Well, that's our show for you tonight, folks. Really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, smash like, subscribe, share with all your friends, because as you know, this content can't be found anywhere else in the world because it's just so dang special. Adam, did you have anything you'd like to add here at the end of the show?
Nope, I don't have anything to add.
Oh, man. Nothing about a little bit of a sleazy detective that chain smokes cigarettes and has a inkling for the dames.
No, I don't.
No.
I don't have anything to add. No.
Alright, that's our show, folks. Really hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, we will see you next week right here on Triggered. Good night.